I'd like to call the February 19th meeting of the Wheaton Park District Board of Commissioners to order. Mike, please take the roll.
Commissioner Morrill?
Here.
Commissioner Mee?
Here.
Commissioner Hodgkinson?
Here.
Commissioner Lutkehans? Here. President Kelly?
Here. Presentations. I think we have a presentation tonight.
Yes, we have with us this evening Scott Shorney, who is with the DuPage County Historical Museum Foundation, and would like to tell us about an upcoming event.
All right, I think Mike handed out these postcards to you all, but I'm here to speak on behalf of the committee that's putting on Casino Night for the museum. That's coming up on February 28th. It's at the DuPage County Historical Museum. The event is a speakeasy casino night. The event begins at 6:30, and tickets include gaming, food, drinks, a wine pool, and great prizes. The casino games include roulette, blackjack, poker, and craps. Tickets can be purchased online at dupagemuseum.org or by calling the museum. The number there is 630-510-4941. Don't forget to don your favorite 20s apparel, as special prizes will be given to the best-dressed individuals. And the evening will also include sampling opportunities with Cooper's Hawk Winery and Seasons 52. I'd like to thank our presenting sponsor for the event, Wheaton Bank and Trust, and we look forward to seeing members of the board, anyone in the audience, anyone watching the video online. So it's February 28th at the DuPage County Historical Museum. So I hope to see you all there.
Thanks, Scott.
Thanks for all your work, Scott.
Thanks for your efforts.
Community input. Has anybody signed up for community input? Is there anybody here that wants to address the board? A consent agenda. I need a motion.
So moved.
Any discussion?
On the minutes on page 4, we just need the adjournment information added, but we should be able to pass it conditioned upon that being added.
After closed session. So,
Wait, which?
Page 4.
you know what? I've got it right here.
Is that in the closed session?
Yeah, it was 8:15 p.m., and I don't know.
Oh, yeah, I sent that.
So it will read 8:15 p.m., and I'm going to assume that the same two motioned and second that came out of closed session with a motion.
No, I sent, yes.
So we have Commissioner Schobel moving and Commissioner Mee seconding to adjourn at 8:15.
Thanks.
Make those corrections.
Any other discussion? Mike, take the roll.
Commissioner Morrill?
Yes.
Commissioner Mee?
Yes.
Commissioner Hodgkinson?
Yes.
Commissioner Lutkehans?
Yes.
President Kelly?
Yes. New business, item number 1, or unfinished business, item number 1, Stars Family Services.
For your information only, they've pulled their request for partial waiver of impact fees.
Okay. New business, item number 1, ordinance 2014-01, and an ordinance approving the disposal and sale of personal property owned by the Wheaton Park District.
Move to approve. Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Item number 2, bid results, Arrowhead Golf Club restroom project.
Move to reject all bids.
Second.
Any discussion? Terry?
I just want to make a statement. I think it's a prudent move because it's too expensive, way beyond what we expected. But, I think the quality of our golf course still demands, that we offer a better product than the porta potties, that we offer right now. And although we can't do it through this particular grant and the additional monies that we would have to expend for it, Mike, I'm hoping that the staff will look at some other alternatives, possibly to putting a better quality product out there, whether it be through grants or otherwise. And I see that you've given me some food for thought here. So anything's better than what we have.
Yes, sir.
Well, I did want to ask Andy a question. Andy, now that that restroom project is basically dead for the time being, are we going to go ahead and construct that path back to the back tees on 7 South?
That's a good question. I'll get together with staff and get an estimate of that cost. and
Yeah, I mean, that
get
still
back
needs to be done because
Yeah.
it slows play right now. So, it's cut, at least temporarily cut back there, but we just need to finish that path.
Yeah, I'll get together with staff and get an estimate on that for you.
Cool. Just for information, that path was going to be cut once that, and established once that restroom was constructed, so, but it still needs to be
It
done.
was 7 South.
7 South.
Oh,
that's
up to
right.
that back tee?
The back tees, yeah.
Okay.
So
Well,
I'll get a price to.
Well, we're going to be doing some asphalt work
Some
this year
paving,
anyway,
right.
because we've talked about,
It's in the pay. Yeah.
I think you guys got a report on that from the Buildings and Grounds meeting on how we're going to handle the asphalt. So I would just put that in with
Yep.
whatever other asphalt we're going to try to do this year. And
Okay, no problem.
anybody else? Okay. All in favor of rejecting the bids?
Aye.
We got to do a roll. All right.
Commissioner Lukey-Hans?
Yes.
Commissioner Hodgkinson?
Yes.
Commissioner Me?
Yes.
Commissioner Morrill?
Yes.
President Kelly?
Yes. Okay, new business item 3, recommendation concerning the DCEO grant award in the amount of $175,000. Mike, you want to explain what?
Yes, briefly, with the washroom project being scrubbed due to excessive costs, as we've just discussed, we had staff contact DCEO and look at the possibility of moving the grant. And as the grant states that it can be used for Arrowhead utilities, our recommendation is to seek approval for seeking an amendment with the DCEO for this particular grant contract and pay for the pump house project that is already been awarded, and it makes it convenient related to the negative results of the restroom bid. So the board's approved, that the project is scheduled to begin if it hasn't already, and we'll get back $150 of $180,000 project.
Well, can we put the cost of the pump house roof in it too?
Well, you're exceeding the cost of the.
The restroom?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought the grant was for $175.
We've spent 25.
But we've spent money on.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Right. So, is everybody in favor of?
Move to approve staff recommendation.
Second.
Okay. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay.
Thank you.
New business item 4, approval to fill a vacant full-time position, the evening custodial crew leader for the community center. We need a motion.
Move to approve. Second.
Any questions, comments, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay. New business item number 5, approval to submit an application for the 2014 Park and Recreation Facilities Construction Grant for the continued development of the old Hubble Wheaton Central acquisition.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions, comments, discussion? Okay, so are we? One of the items was put in as like an alternate to you guys to see if you wanted to put that into the grant request, and that was to do the
Ice.
ice.
Artificial
Yeah,
ice.
The ice, right, with the chiller, which would also involve air conditioning the gym. Because the air handling units that we purchased are set up for both heating and cooling. The coils were sized for cooling, even though we're running the hot water through them. So it's a dual temperature system. It can run hot water or chill water. It's set up for the future air conditioning. The electrical service was sized for the chiller. So purchasing a chiller for Hubble will serve two purposes. It's an oversized chiller that would let us do ice in the winter, and it would let us air condition those gyms, which they're not, which would give us more use in the summer. So I just want to make sure people are okay with putting that into the grant request.
I would support it.
Did Building and Grounds, did you guys talk about this? I don't remember it in the minutes, that's why.
No, it came up after our meeting.
Okay.
The chiller came up after we talked about going for the grant.
Yeah, the grant was in there, okay.
And we were going to go for the ball field lighting and all the ball field construction and the fences and everything else that's going that we've already decided we're going to do. But the chiller is not in our budget for this year. We were going to wait a year or two to do the chiller. But in light of the fact that we're going to apply for this grant, you know, Mike suggested we put the chiller in, and I said, let's just ask the board how they feel. So
I guess my question is more, I have no problem with the chiller. I think it's a great idea. The concession restroom and press box renovations, I guess I'd like some more information on that. 'Cause I don't remember us talking about that.
no.
And that's $50,000 of cash of us that I'd like to understand.
We have a restroom facility out there, and I apologize, I thought we had discussed it at committee, at least briefly, that we have checked through construction over the last year, and those toilets will flush. The line is clear and operable. We simply wanted to explore, similar to what we just discussed at Arrowhead, the possibility of eliminating the use of portable toilets where we can for sanitation purposes. We are visiting with
Can I interrupt?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Maybe I wasn't clear, and I probably was not. The concession restroom I do recall talking about. I don't recall talking about a press box.
Oh, yeah.
That's something I have no idea what the heck we're talking about.
I think all we want to do is tighten it up to make sure it can be used for storage. I don't think we're talking about actually putting press up there. I think it's just a structure we can either demolish or tighten up so we can use it for.
How much of this is the press box, I guess, is the question. I mean, how much of the 200,000 is what?
At this point, I think it's pretty heavy for the concession in the restrooms. The press box, if you guys have been in there, the upstairs, it's this narrow little staircase that gets you up there. I don't feel comfortable having any use up there, so what we're proposing to do is basically take the second story off of that, put a roof on it so it's simple storage. And we're still working through those numbers. I feel relatively comfortable with what this is, but we're going to tighten it up before we put an application in. So that would come down, I would hope, if anything.
When do we have to put in the application?
March 13th is when it's due.
I'd like to get a better handle on that air conditioning number too. That estimate came from the engineers, right?
At this point, we have the $300,000 number for the chiller from the engineer. I have $100,000 for the equipment from a manufacturer, and I've been talking with an installer to tighten up what it takes to pull it all together.
Okay, thanks, Rob.
For the purpose of the resolution authorizing us to move forward, a dollar amount is not specified until we submit the grant.
Correct, but it is necessary for us because 25% of it's our cash, so we have to understand.
Agreed. What I was going to suggest is we could go back once we have firm figures and talk to the Buildings and Grounds Committee, and if it pleases the whole board, allow them to give us the green light on it.
I'm kind of okay with that.
I'm okay with that.
With that and those items, unless something comes back goofy in an estimate. But I mean, we did want to air condition the gymnasiums in the future. I think they'll be more
That's a good
usable,
idea.
and I like that idea. And you know, if we can have ice in a lighted park, I think that'd be great compared to the flooded method we're using now. So I'd like to see us do that. I don't really care one way or another about the bathrooms would be nice. I don't care about the press box.
I guess I just don't understand it enough to say that I'm willing to put $15,000 or $20,000 towards it of our own money, depending on what the number is. I just don't know.
I mean, of the press box thing.
Of the press box.
I think it's the press box.
Because we've never really had any. I don't. Maybe we talked about it at committee, but I don't remember it.
We talked about the bathrooms.
I did
know.
talk about the bathrooms, but I just don't know what the number is and what percentage is what, and I never even thought about it. I've never even looked at the press box as anything other than something that would be destroyed, probably.
Well, yeah, we'll get the number firmed up. We can pay to have it torn down, or we can pay to have some additional storage there. It really is not all that jugular to staff's needs. And sometimes when we do our advanced work on a grant application, we get advice from the grant administrator that says, listen, this storage facility, it's not going to get any points. You probably want to yank it. It may happen. But So I'd be comfortable, you're going to have an expense down the road unless you just want to leave it up as an eyesore. I don't know if it's 15,000 to take it down or not. So I apologize, we don't have all the facts, but quick turnaround, 30-day turnaround on grant application sometimes leaves us in this position.
Well, why don't you get the rest of the information to Buildings and Grounds, and if, we see it, we want to pull it or get an opinion from the rest of the board, maybe I got to call a special meeting, but let's
Just
just,
say, we did a special meeting for the coup.
why don't we we'll kind of leave it in and see what my opinion is, let's leave it in for now, but let's have the Buildings and Grounds review it, and if we want to come back to the board to have another discussion before the application goes in, I'll figure out a way to do that. Is that okay with you? Yeah. Okay.
Everything's fine with me. I'm on Buildings and Grounds. It's just everybody else doesn't get the vote.
Well, I'll call a special meeting. If we're going to change it, I'll
Show
call.
up there, too.
If we're going to change it, I'll call a special meeting.
We can show up there as long as,
Exactly.
earlier than 6 a.m.
Notice the we'll just notice the Buildings and Grounds Committee.
All right. So,
With Kelly lately, it's 5 o'clock.
all right. So I need a motion authorizing them.
We
to come
already
to the
moved.
meeting.
We did.
Oh, then all in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay. Okay. Staff reports.
No.
No.
6.
Mike's compensation.
Oh. So new business item number 6, executive director compensation. I need a motion.
We need a motion up the percentage.
Yes.
Move to approve a 2.75% salary increase for the executive director for 2014.
Second.
Any discussion? All right. All in favor? Aye. Anybody opposed? Okay.
Thank you.
Now we'll move to staff reports. We got a couple this month. Anybody have any questions, comments?
We have
Ryan's here hoping somebody's going to ask a question.
We have Ryan and Megan here to report authors this month. If there are any questions.
I had a question for Ryan. Ryan, on page 10, when you made that comparison with other swimming pools, specifically other park district swimming or other park district fitness clubs, some of these have swimming pools in addition, and some do not. Is it Addison and Bartlett and Carroll Stream that have swimming pools in addition to their fitness centers?
You are correct, yes.
Okay. Not Downers Grove, not Elk Grove, and not Elmhurst Courts Plus, right?
You're correct.
Okay, great.
I'll go. Ryan, first of all, I don't have the report in front of me, so I apologize, but I did. I read it. I wanted to say I really appreciated the fact that you were your concepts about how to improve it. I think it's one of the. I think it's the best report as far as I've seen as to how we're going to make significant changes going forward. I also do know that you reached out to one of our former board members and spoke to him, and I think that is a great idea, and he's an asset that I know is willing to help. You sometimes have to push him to help, for sure. But I love him to death. So he's obviously a great resource, and he seems to be very happy to help. So please feel free. I think we would all ask that you use him. So thank you.
Thank you.
Report.
Terry?
Ryan, I noticed that you've reduced our expenses. It looks like we've reduced our personnel expenses in order to increase our net revenues.
We did.
Over 2012?
Yeah, we did take away the assistant manager up until this point, and we also took away one of the coordinators up until this point. So at this point, we've been working without them.
How's that working out?
It's working out well.
Are you contemplating looking to fill that position again, or?
I mean, in the future, we'd be open to an assistant manager. I think that the coordinator can stay closed, but the assistant manager is something that definitely could reopen down the road.
Well, your words in the report, additionally, we will offer attractive and creative membership enrollment specials and packages, did you have some sense of what you're going to offer?
Just different things to different people. Like we did offer to volunteer coaches. We did offer a 20% discount to them. That is going out actually this week from Dana. Dana Mitchell is going to be sending that out, so that should be coming back well. And then just different incentives to different groups and corporate memberships and all that stuff.
Yeah, your statement that a revamped marketing plan will help. So do you have a sense of what that revamped marketing plan is going to be? Because I think it's a good idea.
Just overall working with the marketing department, who's been working really well with us and influencing us into new decisions and just better stuff. We did just tape a Yelp video that we're going to put on the website that looks really good if you guys want to take a look at that. I think that will help us out a lot. And then just different marketing information that has been going out through flyers, emails, email blasts.
Yeah, I think we need a little bit of, an energy boost.
For sure.
there. And Margie can do it.
For sure.
Megan, just a statement. Where are you? Are you hiding? Hi. Thanks for your report, too, Megan. It's, I always learn a little bit about things that I don't know that much about in terms of our early childhood stuff. So it was helpful to see how many programs that we do offer. And looks like it's continuing to be successful. Huh? Very good. Thanks.
Hey, Ray?
I just wanted to compliment both staff for very good reports, and I appreciate the information that you give us and the jobs you do behind the scenes to make everything work. So thank you.
Yeah,
I have a
Jane,
question.
go ahead.
Megan, I have a question for you, too. You can stay right there, don't. Do you have a sense, are there more preschoolers in Wheaton, less preschoolers in Wheaton? What's going on there? It's tough to tell with, I saw in your report we've got lots of other competitors, we know the school districts involved. What's happened with our demographics there? Thanks.
Okay. Terry, you had something?
I just, regarding other reports, Mike, extend at least my appreciation to Sue and the zoo staff. That was a prudent play to put our free admission days, bunch them up in January. That's a good move.
Was it 40 below?
Well, perhaps. But in any event, that helps us with admissions down the road. So that was a good move. And I just want to mention, as far as cross-country skiing and Arrowhead staff, they're doing a good job. I've been out twice, taking advantage of the cross-country skiing out there, and we're getting a lot of good positive comments. And the grooming has been good. We lost that groomer for a little bit, but I know it's back in service now. So a lot of positive comments about the cross-country skiing, including from me. I didn't fall down.
Mark?
Yeah, the numbers don't spell out. I mean, again, it's one of those things is I looked back at the report and I'm like, we're still not making money in this thing. I mean, we're with staff and the rest of it. I mean, where are we at in February?
Did things pick up after that TV news flip?
We've been really busy the last 2 weekends.
When was that? Was that like 2 weeks ago?
Tuesday,
2 weeks
last
ago.
week.
Yeah, but the last weekend was very busy. We had talked to Bruce, we had our busiest day on, I believe it was Saturday or Sunday, where we sold over 316 sets of cross-country skis.
What's that equate to? Revenue.
Well, $15 per set, so I don't know. But I don't know. I think we did, I think for the week we did maybe $5,000 for the skiing for 1 week. But, I got to tell you, the last 3 weekends, the restaurant has been doing very well.
Well, that was one of the things I
Very well.
posed to Mike in the email. I wish the piece would have said, hey, after you're done skiing, come up and pop up to our bar restaurant. We didn't get there.
Oh, you mean with the TV network? Yeah.
How did we attract the media?
They called us,
Oh, they did?
so we were really, it wasn't as though we paid,
Cool.
$50,000 for the commercial. It was, they showed up and we took advantage of it on the fly. And, in the future, we'll make sure that on the fly, we mention the peripheral facilities.
Well, that'd be the first and foremost thought in my head.
Well, I would be hesitant to put a camera on you, frankly, Mark.
Yeah, and they would cut it anyway. It's not, they're not doing it for a commercial.
Yeah, you don't get to write your own press release.
Where you pose it.
Kudos to Sarah O'Donnell. She was a recipient of the 2014 scholarship, right? It's Sustainable Parks and Rec Scholarship.
Yep.
That's pretty cool.
She's saving us money. It's a very expensive program she's able to attend at no cost because of this award.
I would ask, first of all, I think, in the dog days of January, February, Arrowhead's done some nice things as far as the beer craft night or whatever afternoon, as well as those concerts, the Friday, Saturday concert for whatever band. However, what I would really appreciate is some kind of recap of how those did, not just whether they're making money there, because what I saw was, you may or may not be making money with that event, considering your costs, because I don't know what your costs are. But I think it does, again, what it ends up bringing is bringing people into the bar on a Saturday in particular that we don't have. Saturday is obviously our slow night in the bar. The craft beer, you saw 50 people come down and eat dinner afterwards. So I'd like to kind of, if you could, give us hey, this is what we did on this Friday, this Saturday, compared to what we normally do on a Saturday in January. Are we making money? Is it worth it? It seemed like to me like it was, but I would just I think it's something it would be helpful for us to understand. Okay. Thanks, Andy. But I mean, all the events were run wonderfully, so.
Yeah, Ray?
Compliment the staff on the volunteer recognition mixer that we had. It was wonderful, and I heard a lot of great comments from people. They really appreciated it. Thank you.
Mark?
On the band thing, actually, I went there for dinner on Friday night with a couple and for the fish fry and
You at the fish fry? Come on.
I did. I had the fish fry. And I ended up getting recruited to go upstairs, and I think we spent, Becky and I spent like $50. I'm sure the other couple did too. So there's a reverse type thing, and I'm gonna tell you, I was kind of surprised at the crowd. They kept building throughout the night. So and of course they had a country themed Saturday, which I declined.
Well, and I did the opposite for obvious reasons because I'm a redneck at heart. But I think the Friday night, and I think the Friday night actually was much more well attended from what I heard.
Yes.
But so I was more wondering about the Saturday night because I think, it seemed to bring in people that we wouldn't normally have. So I know that was not a cheap cost. Having talked to some of the staff, so I would just like to see what the.
Well, I agree with Phil. I like to see the numbers, but I'll tell you this much: the second half of the Friday night thing, the band was way better than the first half. I don't know who they were, but they weren't good.
They're two local bands, Mark.
I thought it was the first. The second one was just so great, Mark. Is really what it was. Okay, come on.
Okay. Anybody have anything else?
I do.
Yes, Jane.
I wanted to congratulate the Causley staff on partnering with the San Diego Zoo on the Zoo Global project. So it would provide training for our volunteers and staff. I thought that was sensational. Also, Larry, I wanted to thank you and your guys for working outside in this weather and keeping, 30 inches of snow off of the walkways and everything. That was really appreciated. And I know I read in the report the golf staff sometimes slept at the club to make sure that things weren't happening there. I thought that was a very nice, significant act too. And I was very pleased that we're going to get the proceeds, the museum's going to get the proceeds for In Good Taste Restaurant Week. So I hope that everybody up here is going to support that in some way. and that's March 13th. And I also wanted to thank the athletic staff for helping me out with the difficulty that I had with somebody who was concerned about basketball. So, thank you.
One last thing, and it's kudos. I mean, Arrowhead's been going through a transition with, especially with President's Day, with all the stuff happening. Neil DeCero, just did heroic work out there, working on his time so that the full-timers could have the time off. And then he was telling me about a scenario where they had to unfreeze some pipes because the whole outside the underpass there was just frozen. The sewer was frozen. He was up, I don't know how many hours, clearing that out to make sure that we didn't get the water inside the facility. So, kudos to Neil. He always, time in and time out, goes way over what's expected of him.
Move to go into closed session for the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees, purchase or lease of real property, approval, review, and release of closed session minutes.
Second.
Commissioner Lukihans?
Yes.
Commissioner Hodgkinson?
Yes.
Commissioner Mee?
Yes.
Commissioner Morrow? Yes. Commissioner Schobel?
Told you came at the wrong time.